Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and the Pokemon TCG expansion Mega Dream EX, which is making up part of the Ascended Heroes expansion. Mega Dream EX, if you're not familiar, is the Japanese set, and it's different than the set that is released for like the rest of the world. The international set, which we'll be releasing later as well, which is Ascended Heroes, though they are like kind of the same. They're also both part of the Mega era. Specifically regarding Ascended Heroes, which again, just Mega Dream EX is out in Japan, the other part isn't. It's going to be made up of these like decks. There's actually 100 of them. They contain some new cards. I don't know how many new cards, and I have no idea if the cards are going to be particularly good. There have been some revealed. One of the cards is like very, very strong, not broken, but like probably going to be a top 10 card in the game. There's also Charizard, but anyways, those are not out in Japan yet, if you are wondering. But the cards that are out are the Mega Dream EX cards, which are some interesting new cards. At first, I thought the set was okay. Well, the set has a bunch of reprints in Japan. So obviously there are good cards like Latias EX is like very good, and like Pikachu EX is pretty good and stuff like that. There's good cards in the set. But in terms of new cards, I thought like there wasn't that many. But then looking through decks, there are actually some pretty decent cards here, for some different decks here. Also, before we hop into things, I do want to shout out YouTube members Avery Atwood, Alejandro RWZT, and Extra Grass for joining as YouTube members. It's the thing you can do. You can get early access to my videos. Also, if you're a Stage 1 member, you can suggest a video every single month that I can make. And there's some cool stuff. You can check it out, but it's just a way to support me as well as subscribing and liking. That also always really helps. So I'd really appreciate if you did that. Also, YouTube members, I literally haven't gotten a comment from a YouTube member in 5 months. I don't know why that is, but anyways, didn't want to point that out. But anyways, so yeah, this set is out, and today we're taking a look at some lists. Unfortunately, Limitless doesn't have city leagues for the past few days, as far as I'm aware. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I believe that there are city leagues still going on. The website I'm going to be looking at today, though, is not going to be Limitless for the deck results because, as I said, they're not here. I don't know why there was a regional in Stuttgart. Could be because that a lot of the Limitless team was there. As far as I'm aware, I don't actually know if that's true, but that would make sense. But anyways, they're not here on Limitless. It might be out by the time this video comes out, but probably not. Anyways, we're looking at Book. The website, as I said, it is Book. I always get asked whenever I make a video on Book what the website is. I like show it and I talk about it. That's the website. If you want a link, you can ask down below in the comment section. But anyways, it is a Japanese website as well. And as you can see, the images unfortunately are small / low resolution. So sorry about that. But anyways, yeah, the website is all in Japanese as well. If you do go to it, if I look at it, I usually auto translate, which is like, not the best. But anyways, this deck here is the first deck that is, and I think the only deck here, because I'm going to look at 5 new decks. This deck is not new. It's Zoroark EX. Just looking at one list for all of them, but there are some different lists, I think, for all the decks we're looking at today, if you wanted to poke around and find them. But ultimately, Zoroark EX, of course, it draws you cards, which is good. And it is for 2 darkness. You copy an Ents Pokemon on your bench. There's a few attacks in standard without Ascended Hero / Mega Dream. There is the Ends of Escher. I'm doing 170, which is okay. Right now it's like the main attack, but it's very underwhelming, I'd say, for really anything, right? Let's be honest. I mean, if it was like 1 energy on a basic single prize, I guess that'd be really good, but it's not. It's 2 energy on a 2 prize stage one. So ultimately, that attack being the main one's kind of not so good. There's Endstar Mantan, which is a pretty nice snipe option. It is also a counter to Ceruledge, the first attack there. But the second attack going to be a nice snipe option for some situations, but again, it is in some situations. It is pretty situational there, but it is a nice little option there. And for a while was the main option within the deck, but there is also Shaman now. And then the new card is going to be the End Zekrom. End Zekrom's super good. Oh, End Zekrom also has an attack that does damage based on damage counters on it, which can be pretty powerful, but your opponent kind of needs to play into it to some extent. So it's not going to be like this super powerful, crazy card. But the End Zekrom is pretty nice here. The first attack, I will say, is like okay. It's not super good, but it does do 70 and hits through effects on your opponent's active, which is kind of cool, allowing you to do, 70, which is a decent number. I mean, hits through Mimikyu, it one-shots that. You can attack with End Zekrom itself as well. It is 3 colorless there. But then your big attack, Rampage Thunder. Again, this is a translation, but it does 250. What it does is not translate, or it is a translation, but it's like definitely right. The name is not necessarily right there. But Rampaging Thunder for 4. I mean, the attack cost doesn't matter. Just 250. Can't attack next turn. It's not like you can't use this attack. You can't use any attacks. That being said, you have a lot of switching options. You have Pekka EX. You could also play Air Balloon, and you could also play what else was I going to say? Oh, Ends Castle. Yeah, so you have those options. This list plays one Ends Castle and one Pekron EX. Pekron EX is good. Is that going to be enough to always do what you want and not have a downside from the End Sacrum attack? Not necessarily, but like 250 is still a lot better than 170. So it's 80 extra damage. The extra damage is definitely meaningful. You're not one-shotting literally everything you're looking for, but you're also binding Mochi to do 40 more. You also have Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory has some issues getting the energy on and having damage on your Pokemon all the time, but it's still pretty decent within the deck. And the Pekron EX isn't like too bad poisoning yourself. Could be bad, you never know. But ultimately, Ensarcom's a really good inclusion for the deck. It's not necessarily broken or anything. I mean, it's not broken, right? But it's like it has legitimate value for the deck. As it's gonna improve how good the deck is. Right now, I think sorry, I guess that's what the deck name is, or Zoroark is like okay. I certainly wouldn't say it's in the top tier of decks, like the top, like S tier, which is like a couple of decks. And then I wouldn't say it's an A tier either, which is like not all of the top 10, but like a bunch of the rest of the top 10 personally. But if you put it there, I certainly wouldn't say that's crazy, but I wouldn't either. And then so it would be like below that in a tier where I'd put. I'm not a huge fan of Mega Absol. I don't think it's like a bad deck, but I don't think it's like absurd. So I'd probably put it like next to that as like a good deck. Certainly, it has good things it can do. I'm not sitting here saying Ends is not good, but this is going to make it better. I think it'll bump it up maybe half a tier. This deck is floating around. It's okay. It's decent. I mean, it's by no means a bad deck. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to make this deck into it could even bump it up a whole tier. It could bump it up into like a true, I wouldn't say true top deck, but I'd say it could put it into like deck 5, like in that range with this. I personally wouldn't put it quite there, but it's decent. Looking at tournament results in Japan as well, early on. I don't have it shown right here, but it's like on Pokemonbook it says, and it's like and Zoroark EX isn't played like an absolute ton. It's being played some. It's by no means some like crazy rogue deck or anything like that, but it's not being played a lot more than it was before, despite a powerful new addition. So, and Zekrom is good, but there are times when it's not like super useful either there. Then we have the first deck that's like actually a fully new. Well, okay, is this deck a fully new deck? It only plays it plays 5 new cards, but the Ends deck is like not really a new deck. This is, I guess it's a Mega Eelektross. I mean, it plays like a Zekrom EX, Dragonite EXs, obviously the Electric, and it plays Iron Hands EX as well. It does play Zoroark, which are already out. It does play this new Stunfisk as well. This card is kind of fun. It does 30 for 1 lightning and stops retreating, and then the defending Pokemon takes 100 more damage next turn during your next turn there. So that's like kind of fun. Is this card super good? No, I don't know. I kind of wanted to include it in this video because it's a new card, but I don't know how good it is in the deck. A lot of us aren't playing it, but it's kind of fun there. Then we have the Mega Eelektross EX. This card is pretty cool. For 2 lightning, you do 62 your opponent's Pokemon. This is a nice little option for finishing off Pokemon on the bench or doing different things. It's situational, but it is pretty nice. Could set up knockouts with Iron Hands EX if you want to. There are just some cool things you could do with it, but it's not like super good. I mean, it's 120 on a 3 prize stage 2, so that's kind of sketchy. And then Disaster Shock's 190 for 3 on a 2 prize stage, or 3 prize stage 2. You discard 2 lightning from this Pokemon, or you can. You don't have to. And then your opponent's active is paralyzed, so it can allow you to take a knockout on like a big Pokemon. You can 2-shot it by using this attack, paralyzing them, hoping they don't have the switch. Obviously, there are cards like Jet Energy, Terra Scenario, Penny, and things like that. There's a lot of different... Oh, Prime Catch as well. There's a bunch of switching effects that are played, and their opponent's kind of playing around it, so it shouldn't be super hard for them to do, but it might be something they can't really deal with. Ultimately, it also has a lot of HP. Well, okay, it doesn't have a lot of HP for a 3 prize stage 2. It is, I believe, the lowest, but it's higher than any Pokemon in the game before Megas as well. So it's like pretty tanky there. It's a nice little option. I don't know how good it is as a card or within like a Lightning Toolbox style deck, but it is kind of interesting there. Having some versatility / utility, and also I was gonna say it does good damage. It does like all right damage, and it has high HP, so it definitely has a fun little role within the deck. Maybe as like a late game attacker that your opponent could gust around, or hitting paralysis early, or like, I don't know, forcing resources out of your opponents, or like forcing them to play around this card could be interesting. Again, don't know exactly how good it's going to be, but it's a fun little card, and it's not bad. It's been played a bunch in Japan, honestly. Not like a crazy amount, but a good amount. Then the next deck here also plays it. This is Mega Dragonite EX. Every Mega Dragonite EX list I think I've seen has been playing Eelektross EX. Or Mega Eelektross EX. Mega Dragonite EX is another new Mega Eelektross. They both are. The last one I believe is Froslass. Oh, there's also Hawlucha. I don't think I saw anyone playing Mega Hawlucha EX. It's not like a terrible card, but it's not a build around card either. I could have missed it, but again, it's not a build around. So we have Mega Dragonite EX and Dragonair. Dragonair is probably going to be better than Mega Dragonite EX in my opinion. Mega Dragonite EX is a card with the ability that lets you switch every turn. I mean, switching every turn I guess is good. Like Pekron EX is good for switching. It's also useful for poisoning, but it's useful for switching. Latias EX is good for a similar reason. But those are both basics. This is a stage 2. It's also a 3-prizer. It's not the biggest liability because it is, well, big because it has a lot of HP here, but it is still a bit of a liability there. Then the utility of the ability is like it's all right. But first stage 2 is just like not that good. I mean, we've seen cards like this in Standard. There's a Dragonite that gives you all your Pokemon for your treat. There's a Gengar that lets you switch every turn, which like doesn't really see any play. It's seen a tiny bit of play as like a pack option against specific decks, but this isn't something you really want to be using for that situation. It also does have an attack for Water Lightning doing 330, discard 2 from this Pokemon, but this is honestly probably worse than Mega Manectric. Mega Manectric EX is a mediocre Mega doing 330 for 3. Potentially you could discard all the energy. It does have free retreat, but that's like I guess worse than switching. But it's not like that much worse. I mean, it's a stage 1, right? This card's probably, and it's also not water energies. It's probably better. Oh, and it's lightning, so we can use the electric generator. Long story short, this is probably a comparable card to Mega Dragonite EX in power level, ignoring stage, which is like very important. And then on top of that, it also like doesn't really see much play. It's seen a little bit of play. In playing games, I haven't actually seen anyone play it. I'm sure some people have played it. Ultimately, it's a it's whatever, right? And Mega Dragonite is going to be like worse realistically. It does have a bit of utility. It's a cool card, but anyways, here is the build around. I mean, there's a new card people want to play it, and you have Electric to accelerate from the discard to it. There's also Rayquaza. I'll quickly take a look at. Wait, the Rayquaza isn't new. What is this card? Wait, no, this Rayquaza is new. I just couldn't find it because I'm blind. I don't know. But anyways, Assault Break. If this Pokemon moves from the bench to the active, which I guess is really easy to do. Oh, I guess it's intended to be paired with Mega Dragonite. Then you do 90 more. So 210 for 2, which is not bad. It's not like amazing, but it's all right there. But then you also are playing the new Dragonair, which I was teasing a little earlier with the ability, which lets you, if it has an energy attached, search your deck for an evolution, put it into your hand, which is a nice little evolution. It's like a search ability, right? It is on an evolution. It requires an energy as well. So it's by no means an amazing card, but I do like it. I think this card is fun. Theoretically, there's like a utility package with Dragonair and Mega Dragonite EX where you get like switching for those situations. Some cards have synergy with it. Some cards, I mean, any deck could use switching to get out of like an Ethan Sudowoodo or something, or a lot of decks could. It's not like that's that common, but it has some value there. Though again, it is on a stage 2, so using it as like a part of the main utility package in a deck feels really sketchy. For a situation for like normal matches, but it could be useful to some extent. And then Dragonair here for search is cool. It is an energy commitment. There's not really a way to, I mean, you could accelerate with the electric, but you can't like electric generator or something like that. But there are ways to get energies on. You could just like attach and set up your board. Where'd this go? I don't exactly know, but it is a cool card. Within the deck, you have the you have a lot of Pokemon that do cool things. You can switch, you can accelerate, you can search. The deck seems pretty fun. You have different attacking options with the Mega Eelektross and Mega Dragonite, and you also that fun Rayquaza. So it's like a cool deck here. You also have Sacred Charm, I think is the name of this card. I don't really care to look it up because it's not like super good. But you take some less damage, and Hero Escape to increase your HP. Overall, some fun little things going on in the deck. I've been a bit of a honestly, the segment's a bit more negative than I was intending. This is mostly showing off cool and new decks, but it is cool. How well will it how well this deck will this deck actually do? I'm not super hopeful. I mean, honestly, Mega Eelektross is like I don't think it's super good, but I imagine we'll see a little bit of play in like Lightning Box decks because it slots in pretty easily and it's okay. Oh wait, there's Mega Scrafty. Oops, I forgot that one as well. Spoilers, we're not covering Mega Scrafty in today's video. Sorry, Mega Scrafty fans. But we are covering the other new Mega, which is Mega Froslass EX with its really cool attack here. or like moderately cool attack, not the absolute snow attack. Yeah, you're not going to be using that. You technically could in this deck, but presumably you're not. So absolute snow is like bad as 150 for 3 on a stage 2, and then puts them to sleep. Or sorry, 3 prize stage 1. But then resentful song for 1 water does 50 for each card in your opponent's hand. Theoretically, there are like cards to make your opponent draw more. I mean, yes, you have Iono, which like does that, and Iono plus Froslass and Munkidori damage. One shot's pretty much everything, but that feels kind of not. It's like something that's there, but it doesn't seem amazingly useful. I guess technically TM Devolution also increases your opponent's hand, but you're not using it at the same turn in which you're playing the or attacking with Mega Froslass. I mean, I guess you could attack with Mega Froslass using TM Devolution, but that's obviously not what I mean. Anyways, it's like a card that just like does good damage though, and it has a lot of HP. If you're not familiar with Froslass, it just pings Pokemon. I guess if you're not familiar with Froslass, you're probably not familiar with some of the other cards I've talked about. But anyways, it like pings Pokemon without abilities, and Mega Froslass EX doesn't have an ability. It's also pretty cheap and efficient, so you can use a Munkidori. This deck honestly kind of looks like a Marnie's deck, except with some changes, which I don't think I don't know. I mean, I guess Marnie's is mostly it's Marnie's plus Froslass Munkidori, and they're kind of like two halves of the deck, so we're just swapping that out with like Mega Froslass, which also obviously it slots in with Froslass. Just adding a couple of cards, and then you like swap the energies a little bit, but Luminous energies are like not bad. I mean, I guess they'd be bad in Marnie's, but because you can't like search them, and you don't need the other type for like anything outside of like a Mega Froslass. But ultimately, Mega Froslass is like, I mean, its HP is nothing crazy, but for stage 1, it is crazy. Though of course it is a 3 prizer, not something you want to be using all the time, but it is a pretty fun deck here, being able to do your Froslass Munkidori stuff, buy time with Badoo, buy time with the Veltol, and just build up damage on your opponent's board. And you also have a powerful option with Mega Froslass that is part of the Froslass line there. So overall, a pretty cool deck. One that I'm kind of excited to try out. I don't know if I'm going to play it that much. I'm definitely interested in hearing people's thoughts on their favorite Mega from this set. Okay, I'm looking. There's 2 more decks. I don't remember what the other 2 decks are. I'm not going to lie. I know what one of them is, but I don't know what both of them is off the top of my head. But this is definitely a pretty fun deck. And not like super new. There's just a couple new cards. I mean, 1 new unique card and 2 copies of that card. So it's nothing crazy, but definitely a fun little twist on the Froslass box stuff. Or I don't know if it's box, but it gives you some more depth there. Then the next deck here is Rotom. This deck isn't really that much new. If you're not familiar with the Rotom deck, the new Rotom is another one finishing up the types that it could possibly have as far as I'm aware. And it has the attack gadget show for 2 colorless, which is 30 for each tool attached to all your Pokemon. There's also Rotom EX, which allows you to have 2 tools on all your Rotoms. Then you have the attack Rotocall here, which is a pretty nice addition to the deck, allowing you to search your deck for any number of bench Pokemon, or Pokemon with Rotom in their name, put them onto your bench. This is nice for setting up, though. It's kind of like clog you, and then you could get like obliterated by something like Dragapult. It also does have 60, which isn't ideal. It hits weakness on Psychic, which is like kind of fun. We see Logical Fairy tossed in. So this is like a legitimate option against Dragapult. Right now, I'd say Dragapult's probably the worst matchup for this deck. I played it some. I made 2, did I make 3 videos on it? I don't know. I made a few videos on this deck. But the most recent one, I played a deck list. It was like super cool. Also like super low energy count. A really awesome deck. I'd highly recommend you trying it out. Also, another thing, I'd highly recommend playing 4 counter games in Rotom. I think it's super good, but maybe if you're leaning more into EXP, sure, I guess you don't need it as much. But counter games like so good in Rotom. Anyways, that deck was really more comeback focused, but the Rotom being able to one-shot Mega or Dragonite EX with Logical Fairy EX in play is pretty nice. We also see Liz Pearl to just like slap on the Lily's Clefairy EX and make it a single prizer, which is really nice, or kind of a single prizer. Your opponent could get through that using some of the Dragapult stuff, hitting your bench with damage counters, which you don't have a way to present. You don't play Battle Coliseum here, but overall the deck's like kind of fun. It's pretty fun. The list I played, if you didn't see the thumbnail or the video, it's like super stressful. Every game comes like down to the wire, which is like kind of scary. But the deck it's pretty decent. Pretty decent. Like it's all right. A lot of these decks are kind of meh. But fun. Definitely one I've heard a lot talk about. It's really cool. I'd highly recommend you try it. I imagine if you've heard about it and you're interested in it, you probably already tried it, but it's a really cool deck here. Then we have the last deck. Oh, yeah, this deck. This deck is kind of interesting. If you're not familiar with the Team Rocket's Porygon Z, you do damage, or the Team Rocket's Porygon 2 as well. They have the same attack, but for different costs. They do, what is it? Is it 20? I think it's 20. I should really know this, shouldn't I? Let's see, Porygon. There we go. Team Rockets Porygon Z gets 20 for each supporter in your discard with the Team Rockets in its name, which there are 5 of, which just displays 4 copies of each one of them. There's also the item which searches them out. It's a super cool engine within Team Rocket's stack. Team Rocket's Pokemon just aren't super good, but the cards that support it are pretty good. But anyways, you have these supporters. They have like some Draw, Disruption, Gust, Search, and I guess more Search with Petrol and Proton, is that the, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's what, Ariana, Archer, Proton, Petrol, Giovanni. Yeah, so you got those 5. They're pretty good. They're cool cards. Oh, and then the Team Rocket Sparkles, he also discards 2, draw 1, which is like actually pretty terrible. Even though you do want to be discarding supporters, which it does help with, it doesn't draw much. It spends a lot of resources, so it's kind of sketchy. But anyways, you have that, and that's been in the game for a little while, not that long, but a little bit, and with Ignition Energy as well. But then we also have the new Team Rocket's Honchkrow. Also, there are new trainers Pokemon in this set. If you're not aware, they are here. There's not that many, but there are some. They're okay. They're not super good. But the Team Rocket's Honchkrow is a pretty cool one here, which says for 2 colors on stage 1, which again, Ignition Energy will play. And so will Team Rocket's Energy, and then you discard any number of supporter cards that have Team Rocket in their name from your hand. It does 60 for each card discard in this way. So obviously, there's a lot. There's 20 here. You can go ahead. You can discard them with your attack. You can do big damage. You can do 360 with 6 or something. Is that easy to do? No, it's not. But it's something you can do. It's pretty cool here. There's also Stadium letting you draw, which synergizes with these supporters. Overall, there's some pretty, I was gonna say cool concepts. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? Let's be honest, but it's a fun deck. Tell me down below in the comment section, though, which of these decks is your favorite, and if there are any other cool new decks that I've missed, and anything you want me to cover. I guess I'll mention Numble. Numble's like good for Mega Camera Up. I looked at the Mega Camera Up list, though I didn't play it, but I like Mega Camera Up as well. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell. Also, again, huge shout outs to my members who've joined recently, but I hope you enjoyed, and as I was excited, see you in the next video.